welcome back to my channel. I am going to be kind of like fixing these front pieces in my hair. I mean, they're just really faded, so I guess not really fixing them. I'm going to be using two different kinds of color remover. So I am going to be using, again, the Tang Strip Tease color remover. I know I already have tried this like 3 times and I recorded it a couple times, and I've already kind of like formed my opinion on it, but at the end of my video, I'll link it above, I kind of determined that I liked my Pulp Riot color remover better. Okay, well then I went and used my Pulp Riot color remover after using only this one for like a couple weeks, and I was like, wait, is this actually better? I can't actually tell. So I'm actually just gonna do a side-by-side comparison of them, if no one else, just for my own personal research so I can see which one is actually better. I just have my Pulp Riot Blank Canvas. This is already open just because I keep using it only on like small pieces of my hair, so like I don't use a full bag of it. So it's already cut open, but this is the Pulp Riot Blank Canvas color remover, and I'm just going to be using these two. I'm going to use the Strip Tease color remover on this side and the Blank Canvas on this side, and we're just going to see what pulls out more color. Alright, so I got my hair all sectioned. It looks kind of wild. I just put clips to keep this hair all like back away in case it tries to like move around, and then these are the 2 sections I'm going to be going into. So I'm just going to mix up my product now. So with the Tang Strip Tease, you want to use a 1:3 ratio, and I actually did get the dedicated developer. So for every like 20 grams of this, you would use 60 grams of this. So I'm just going to mix that up. Now going into the Pulp Riot mixture, I also have the dedicated developer for that. And this is also a 1:3 ratio. So again, if you use 20 grams of this, you would be using 60 grams of this. So typically I make kind of like tutorial type of videos, but since recently I got so many new subscribers, which like thank you so much for subscribing if you did. Since I got so many new subscribers, I figured that instead of doing kind of like a tutorial for this video, I could kind of do more like a get ready with me video. I know people usually do that with makeup, and this is hair, but I don't know, I feel like I mostly do hair on my channel, so it's fitting for me to do that anyways. I know a lot of YouTubers, when they do this style of video, you know, like people will submit questions to them on Instagram and they'll answer them. I don't have anything like that, but I can just tell you guys like a couple like cool things going on with me, I guess. So yeah, I'm from California and I am a cosmetology school student. So back in 2018, I started going to school, and I had to drop out due to a spine surgery that I needed. It was pretty extensive. I actually had kyphosis. It was at about a 92-degree angle. It was really bad, and it was like impairing my ability to move and walk. Not to be like sad or over dramatic or anything, but yeah, that was pretty rough, and I had to drop out of school just to get a surgery for that. So I wasn't able to restart school actually until this year in June of 2021. So I got my surgery in 2019, and then I had to recover like all of 2020, which worked out because everyone was quarantined anyways. And now I'm back in school, and I'm in a different school now because I moved during all of that. So yeah, now I am back in school. I have to start over from scratch, but it's okay because like I had about 600 hours at my other school. So that's just 600 additional hours that I have of education. I do play laser tag internationally. So I've traveled to Australia and New Zealand to play laser tag. I play Laser Force laser tag. We play a game called Space Marines 5, and it's so fun. I worked for laser tag places since I was 15. I was like a party host, I was a marshal, I taught people how to play games. Like that was my thing. Loved laser tag. I was so excited after my surgery to like get back into it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be such a better player now that like I'm not disfigured. And then laser tag is gone now, and it's so sad. But my goal, I have like a lot of goals, but one of them is to open up my own laser tag site, because currently there are none in my area now, since they all kind of shut down. But yeah, I do have 4 cats in a little 600 square foot apartment. It's just 1 bedroom, and they were all siblings. My dad has kind of like a ranch You guys have probably seen it. I dye my brother's hair at my dad's house. That's where my brother lives, obviously with my parents. So, yeah, you guys thought it was a park. Some people were like, oh, you're dyeing your brother's hair at a park. That's my dad's property. He has like 7 acres of land, and there's like a bunch of stuff going on there. And he was mowing the lawn because there's a ton of grass there, and he heard squeaking, and it was 4 little abandoned kittens. They had upper respiratory infections, so they had been abandoned by their mother, because a lot of feral animals, if their children are sick, they'll abandon them because they can't waste the resources. Me and my partner got them and just like took care of them, raised them, and yeah, they're all 4 siblings. They've never known a life without each other and without us. We got them, the vet estimates, around like 2 to 3 days old. Like, they literally have not known a life outside of this apartment with us and with each other. The reason that I want to do hair and the reason I want to get a license and all of that, just I like doing it. It was something that I did with my family. Like, I would dye everyone's hair. Like, my older brother would dye his hair, my sister, my younger brother. I've even dyed my stepmom's hair. It's not her favorite thing. She mostly just likes natural highlights, but she's gone purple before. You know, like, that was just something I always did with my family. Like, that was the way we spent time together, was I did their hair. 6 or 7 years ago, I was doing my dad's hair, and suicide awareness and prevention and all of that is something that's also really big in my family, just because a lot of the members in my family are recovering drug addicts, and a lot of their friends and people who are in recovery or who don't make it to recovery commit suicide. So it's just like a really important thing to my family and I. So I was doing my dad's hair, and he was like, we should do something like dyeing to save lives or something like that, but you spell it dyeing like hair dyeing. And I would dye people's hair, and we would donate the money or like the profits to suicide prevention and suicide awareness and all of that. And then if you saw someone with colored hair, you could you would know, oh, they support mental health and suicide prevention and stuff. And it'd be like a way to like show support and also donate money to, you know, helping people stay alive. And, you know, like, the name was cool, and I was like, wow, that's such a good idea. So I realized that if I wanted to pursue this idea that my father and I had come up with, that I would need a license. So I kind of realized that my first semester of college, so I just dropped out of normal college, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to cosmetology school. My doctor, I was like, I want to switch schools and go to cosmetology school instead of, you know, I wanted to go, initially I was in just a normal university. I wanted to be a psych major, but the classes were impacted, and it was probably gonna take me 6 years to graduate, and my doctor was like, well, you're gonna have a really hard time with cosmetology school. You can't do that with your back. Like, it's gonna hurt you. You can't stand up that long. You know, like, you don't have a great range of motion, you know, like, it's just gonna be hard for you. And I was like, well, I just want to do it anyways. And I'm not gonna say where I went to school, and I'm not gonna try and like speak poorly about them anyways. Like, what went on there was whatever. But pretty much I was told by everyone, you can't do hair sitting down. You can't do hair well if you can't stand up. If you can't stand up for 6 hours to do your client's hair, you can't be a hairdresser. Like, everyone had told me that, even my doctor, just everyone was like, you can't do hair well if you can't stand up. And so I went and got my surgery, and I was like, that'll make me better, right? Like, I'll be cured, I get a surgery, right? Well, found out the hard way that just because you got a surgery doesn't mean you're better. Like, I'm always gonna be disabled. I'm always gonna have a hard time with things. You know, like, my vertebrae, my spine, aren't compressing on each other anymore, which is like great, and it's healthy for me. But that doesn't mean that I'm just better now, that I can just be a normal person now. I thought that's what would happen, but it's not. So I didn't even know if I was gonna go back to school. I was like, I don't know if I should. I'm just gonna be told by everyone again, you can't sit down, you can't do it right. And I've been doing hair on people for years, like my brother, all these other videos, and I stand up for part of it. It's not like I'm paralyzed or anything, but I do have to sit down frequently. And I feel like I can do it very effectively. I feel like a lot of times sitting down, especially in America, is associated with laziness. We don't let our cashiers sit down. Like, why not? They're a cashier. But like, we don't let anyone sit down anyways, and it's associated a lot with laziness and you're not a hard worker. But I learned how to do things sitting down out of necessity because it physically pains me to do it standing up. So I don't sit down just because I don't want to stand. I learned how to do everything sitting down because I had to. So I feel like I can fairly effectively do hair, yeah, standing up sometimes, but also sitting down for a majority of it. And so I finally decided, I was like, well, I'm not the best at normal school, and it's not my passion, and I don't want to do a job that I don't love. And I love doing hair, and it doesn't feel like work to me. So I want to get my license anyways. So I decided to enroll in a different school, and I'm mostly in school so that I can get my license, because as soon as I have that, I can continue on with trying to like make a charity, which I know is like a big thing, and I can't just, oh, I got my license, so now I can make a charity. Like, I know there's a ton that goes into it, but for me, this is just like the first step I need to do, because I'm not even allowed to dye people's hair at all without this license, because yeah, it's just really illegal, I guess. So both sides are in. So again, this is the Pulp Riot Blank Canvas, and this is the Tang Strip Tease. So I'm gonna put some tinfoil over these, and I'm gonna let them sit in my hair for about 20 minutes, and then rinse them out, come back, and show you guys where we're at. Alright, so I am back from rinsing out my hair. I just rinsed it with cold water, and then I shampooed it with the GRWM Mango and Cherry Balancing Shampoo, just because I've been testing that out. I am actually going to post a review on the GRWM Mango and Cherry Shampoo and Conditioner set, probably like my next video. So if you're interested in that at all, then yeah, I'm gonna be making that. So this is how it turned out. They look identical. They look the same. Like, they don't look different at all. However, they do feel different. The Pulp Riot side feels a lot less damaged versus this side. Doesn't feel like infinitely more damaged or anything, but it definitely is like more damaged. This side definitely does feel more damaged. Overall, they both didn't get all colors out. You can see like there's a lot of blue going on mostly. Unless you're trying to go platinum blonde, this is definitely enough color moving to apply any other color over top of it pretty much. But yeah, I'm just gonna put some color over these front pieces. I'm gonna do like a rainbow pattern. Yeah, and I'll show you guys how it turns out at the end. I am back, and this is how my hair turned out. This is how it is looking. I just curled it real quick at school. I just fixed the money pieces. I think it looks more professional this way, to have it like less chunky up at the top, because before I had it like really chunky pieces. So yeah, I think it just looks better this way. And yeah, something I didn't really get to mention in the other part of the video, just because I was like concentrating on doing hair dye and stuff. I want to do, you know, my charity thing that I had mentioned and stuff like that, but just a big thing for me, I want to make people feel confident and feel beautiful, because how often do people go through their day and they just don't accomplish as much because they're full of self-doubt? Like, imagine how much more productive and efficient you could be if you were 100% entirely confident in at the very least your appearance. Like, if it makes you feel better and more confident, and you're gonna be able to get through more, like you're gonna be able to apply for better jobs if you're able to focus more in school, because you're not thinking that you like don't like how you look, and you're just focusing on like kind of like self-hatred instead of just like vibing. Like, it just makes you live your life less. Like, you can't reach your highest potential if you're full of self-doubt and if you don't like how you look. So yeah, that's all for my video. This is Dinger. We will say bye.